In this video, I'm going to show you how you can connect ClickUp to Morgen and how you can then time track those tasks inside of Morgen. If we take a look at my calendar, you can see I've got events inside of my personal calendar, events inside of my work calendar, which is purple, and also inside of my personal calendar, which is orange, and then I have a frame inside of a different calendar for video recording. If I go to the left sidebar where I can see all of my tasks, I can go to the All Tasks view, Morgen, Notion, Google Tasks, Obsidian, but then I can click on this icon at the side that allows me to connect another integration. This takes me to the Tasks and Projects tab inside of the settings. The other way to get here is by pushing on the profile picture, preferences, and then going to Tasks and Projects. And from here, I can click on ClickUp to connect my ClickUp account. I'm going to sign in with ClickUp. And from here, I'm going to select which workspace I want to connect for this integration. So I'm going to connect the Danny Hatch's workspace. And now Morgen wants to know which list or group of lists to bring into Morgen. So if I scroll down, you can see we've got the selected workspace, which is the one that I've just picked. And then underneath, I have all of the different lists inside of my ClickUp. Once I've selected one of those lists, you can see I can save the configuration. I can select both of them or just one of them. I'm actually going to pick both. So all of the ClickUp tasks from both of these lists will be imported into Morgen. Scroll up. I actually want all of the tasks, not just the ones assigned to me. And then I'm going to save this configuration. Authentication succeeded, and it's going to give me a prompt to go back to Morgen, so I can push open. And you can see the ClickUp account has been added. It's available on this computer and is available on the cloud, so it can be seen on mobile devices. Now, if I click on the X to exit out, you'll see the ClickUp icon has now appeared in the tasks sidebar. And so when I click, there are all of the tasks inside of my ClickUp. You'll notice there is an arrow next to this task because there is a subtask, so I can hide or show the subtask. And then it's showing lots of other information about those ClickUp tasks. If I click on the view settings, you can see I can show status, priority, tag, due date, time estimate, list, and folder. These three are currently being shown. If I turn off estimate, you can see it's been hidden. Turn off list, it's being hidden, and I can turn them back on. And this is the view settings inside of the ClickUp integration. But what I can now do is drag, let's say, this task into the calendar and schedule it on the calendar for right now. So now this task has been scheduled from 9:45 till 10:15 on the calendar. If I push the ClickUp icon, it will open up this task inside of ClickUp. From here, if I was to change any of the information, so let's add a due date and say it's due tomorrow. Let's add a time estimate. I think it's going to take about an hour. Close ClickUp and then head back to Morgen. You'll notice after the refresh, now in due tomorrow, we have that task coming in because the due date is synced, the time estimate's been added to 1 hour, and we have a small calendar saying it's been scheduled at 9:45 today, which is right now. Another way a ClickUp task could be scheduled in Morgen is using the AI planner. If I left click and drag from 11 to 12 to create a frame, call it ClickUp, and then add a filter for the ClickUp integration we've just added and say all tasks, make sure it doesn't repeat, and then push save. Now when I push the AI planner, it will suggest the ClickUp task inside of that frame, and I can schedule all. Now the task has been scheduled for 1 hour in this ClickUp frame, and I can tick it off. Now that I can track the time, don't track the time or cancel. If I cancel, you can see the task slot hasn't actually been checked off. If I tick this done and track time, the task will be hidden in Morgen, but the main task remains open because maybe you want to change the status to in progress or assign it to someone else. So we can open it up in ClickUp, and you see time tracked is 1 hour, and now I can move this to in progress and assign this to the editor. Then once the editor is finished, I can push complete or they push complete. Now the task has been completed inside of ClickUp. If I head back to Morgen, you'll see the task has been completed and no longer shows inside of Morgen. Something else worth noting, if this task is scheduled on Morgen multiple times, so let's schedule it a couple of times the next day, and I tick these off, you can see I can track time, then I can tick this off and track time. Any task that I've tracked time in before or during that day will be added together into that ClickUp task. So if I go to the top of Morgen, go into the view settings, show completed tasks, you can see we've got lots of different sessions of that task. We've got 5 times 30 minutes is 2 hours 30 minutes. So if we go back to ClickUp, you can see time tracked is 2 hours and 30 minutes.